Hey guys, I'm Nirmal Topiwala. I'm a 2012 pass out. It's been almost 9 years since I have sat on those steps and bunked those lectures, but I'm very glad to be back here sharing my entrepreneurial journey with you. Let me start with a little bit about myself. On a personal side, I am an avid traveler. I love to travel. I'm a dreamer, and definitely, as you all know, I am an entrepreneur. On the professional side, I am a chief business officer for a technology company called Ajackus. I am also acting as an advisor for a company which is doing research in personality and brain called Y. And on a personal side, I am heading a community called Positivity Drivers. We are just trying to spread some positive vibes. Talking about a journey as to how this whole thing started, I have to say that my first entrepreneurial venture started in second, third year of engineering. There was a time when we used to get pocket money, and at the start of the month, the pocket money would allow us to go to tap. At the end of the month, we'll end up going to yacht. People who did not understood the reference of tap and yacht, please speak with your seniors. I'm sure they'll be able to explain as to what I'm trying to say here. Going back to the journey, so yes, our first entrepreneurial venture was robotics workshop for schools. So we learned robotics in second year of our engineering, and we thought that, hey, why don't we go in the schools and teach it to them? And I gathered few friends around. We went to the schools. We just knocked their doors, literally. We didn't even send them emails or anything. We just knocked their doors. We told them that this is what we can do for your kids, and they said yes, and it all started there. We made good money. It went on for almost 6 months, and after that we were very naive. I would say we just stopped because of the initial success, and we did not really have that maturity to continue it further. However, I learned a really interesting thing, which I realized at a later stage in my life when I started another company called Visa Guide. Before we talk about Visa Guide, I think I'm going to share a few more things. So in the fourth year, I started with another venture of mine called SciTech. And honestly, as every student in their end of third year or fourth year goes through this question, I also went into that question as to what do I really want to do after college? Do I want to go for higher studies? Do I want to take up a job? Or do I want to start my own venture? I think at that point of time, I was not mature enough to give the answer. But today, I probably still do not have the answer for you guys. However, I do have a question that may allow you to decide for yourself as to what you want to do next in your life. And the question is very simple. If I give you $50 million today, what are you going to do? What is your real calling? And I think the answer is going to tell you whether you want to take up a job here or whether you want to go abroad for further studies, settle down there, or maybe, go and start an NGO. I don't know. Your answer is yours. Keep it with yourself and probably just think about it as to what you want to do. But anyway, coming back to my story. Yes, so SciTech didn't probably work well because I was all confused. I took up a job at the end. I worked with Taras for 4 years, stayed in the US for almost 1.5, 2 years. And one fine day I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to start my own company. So even with H1B in my hand, I came back to India and I started a company called Visa Guide. Now, Visa Guide was a brilliant startup. Like it kind of solves a lot of problems for travelers, especially people with an passport. And I am being an avid traveler. I knew that this is my calling. We started really well. And the lesson that I told you I learned earlier while we were doing robotics, this is the lesson. So we learned that it is very important to have people around you who believe in the same vision and are ready to dedicate their entire life for that vision. But anyway, Visa Guide continued. I learned a lot through Visa Guide. We had to shut it down because of COVID. We were making good profits. We were doing well, but suddenly the travel industry broke down and we came out of it. So, however, there was always something called Ajackus that was going on. So it's the company that is going on for a while. I joined in the company as one of the co-founders in 2017. I started doing it officially. Me and my childhood best friend, we started this company. He had started this company, and I had just joined, and I was just helping him, and then I joined in full time. So Ajackus is today a 75 people company, and we're very proud to say that we have been working with individuals to governments, and right now also we are building an app for Philippines, which is going to help them run their entire COVID vaccination drive. So it's a pretty interesting stuff that we do there. Interestingly, we are bootstrapped, and that's what I want to continue doing. Like, I am a bootstrap guy. I usually don't go for investments at an early stage. However, I firmly believe that everyone has their own choices, and people can look at different avenues. And there are a few learnings that I would like to share with you. Which is not there anywhere. It probably will come through experience. And I wish somebody had told this to me when I was starting my journey. So I'm just sharing whatever I learned from my journey. So first thing I learned is skills can be taught. Like you can have people in your team to whom you can teach what you want them to do. However, attitude cannot be bought. So you have to have that attitude of becoming an entrepreneur. I left my US job, a high paying job. I left my H1B and I came back to India. It's a risk. And you can only take these kind of risks when you are sure about certain things. Of course, everyone's circumstances are going to be different. There was a time when I was left with probably just few $100 in my account. And I think as an entrepreneur, you do see the ups and downs in the journey. But what is most important is patience and perseverance. So when you see the downs, just get help. Just take a step back, see as to what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and then go ahead. That's what we learned in Visa Guide. I mean, we started as a boom, and then we crashed, and then we again got back. We made it a profit-making company, and then of course Corona, we shut it down again. But anyway, skills can be taught, attitude cannot be bought. So keep that in your mind. The second thing that I learned is it is very important to have people who believes in your vision. First of all, define your vision. It's not making money. Trust me, that's not your vision. But define that vision. Try to get people on board. And honestly, a good team is what is going to make it successful. Of course, the definition of success can be very different for people. To all the new entrepreneurs, I think. It's important for people to buy in your vision. They could be advisors, they could be investors themselves. And even for investors, the third point that I usually tell people is it is very important to focus on getting revenues and not just investments, because you kind of give confidence to people when you have good revenues. And investors are usually looking at that. They want to see how much skin do you have in the game. Many of the times I hear people coming to me and telling me that, hey, we are not getting investments. It's a brilliant idea, but we are not getting investments. And I think the reason is people want to see how much of skin that you have in the game. Like if you want to give somebody $10,000, aren't you gonna do proper vetting of that person? The same thing is happening here, and that's what you need to continue. That's what you need to focus on. You need to focus on getting revenues, people, customers on board. The fourth thing that I realized is speed is important in any of the startup. I mean, startups are very agile, and it's very important that you stay up to date with everything that is happening, not only in your startup, but your competitors, your market, your customers for that matter. At the same time, I feel stability is more important, because most of the times we have seen that startups, they get investments and they just start growing tremendously, but then they are not stable enough to maintain that growth. And that's where you might have heard that almost 93% of the startups, they shut down in the first year itself. Reason being that there is no proper planning. And I think if you want to have revenues coming in, you want to have investments coming in, you want to have stability, one thing that you really need to do is you need to plan. And planning is most important. Execution definitely is equally important, but many people don't give enough time into planning, and that's something that I want to share with you, that when you are starting yourself, just plan. Talk about your ideas with people that you really believe in. Surround yourself with people who are 12th man. What is 12th man? There's one person in your entire group who is always asking questions, right? I know it's an annoying friend of ours, but then this is the right person when you are starting a new company. You want you want them to find out all the problems that your ideas have. And I think if you are able to answer the questions this person is asking, I think you know that where you're going. If you're not, then you definitely need to know as to where you're going. Anyway, going to one more point. And I think one of the most important one that I learned is that most of the entrepreneurs, if you hear their journey, if you hear the story, I'm not talking about the ones that are like super famous. I'm talking about the ones that are in the center category, mid category. That's the largest pool that we have right now. Most of them, they end up investing 16 hours, 18 hours a day into their work, and they most of the time forget that there is something called life. I'm a traveler, I told you, right? I'm an avid traveler. But I really want to share this, that even though you want to focus on the vision, you want to have the dream, you want to fulfill those promises to yourself and others, I would say that you need to focus on yourself. Living life is very important. I think this is a time that we are young, we are energetic, and I think we are all investors, by the way, because time is the commodity that we have, that we are investing every day. And for someone who has done it and have been doing it for a while, I want to share that live your life. It's very important. Take some time out, spend it with friends, family, and maybe go for a trip. I don't care. Whatever you love to do, just do it while you are, of course, focusing on people. Uh, One last thing about me. What do I really want to do with my life? I think since we're talking about life, I always wanted to create an impact on people. I wanted to sleep with the thought that, okay, today I was able to help at least one soul on the planet. And that is what I'm doing. That is what I'm trying to do. Of course, maybe I'm still not there. However, that's what I wish to think. With that, I want to thank the alumni committee of CRCE for having me here. Thank you so much. I have to say a little bit of about college. I mean, it was one of the best time of my life, and I have to say that if we get an opportunity again, maybe I would come back to college, study there for a week or so. Maybe not longer, but definitely I would want to sit on the steps and probably explore the new cafeteria. But yeah, thank you so much for having me here. I hope this journey has helped you gain something. I hope I did not bore you much. But if you want to follow more about how the entrepreneurship can happen, probably just connect with people who have done it right. Maybe there are a few really good legends. I mean, not talking about Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, but then reach out to people and see as to what they have done and what you can do out of it. With that, if you want to know more about me, you can always connect with me on Instagram. My handle is the Snoozing Traveler, and I'm available on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to help you out in any case. If you want to start your startup journey, anything, I'm happy to help you out. And thank you once again, Alumni Committee, for having me here.